Tonight's big stories. A Filipino-Chinese business group calls out some politicians for their, quote, inflammatory remarks over the reported influx of Chinese students in Cagayan. The group's president, Cecilio Pedro, will talk to us more about their recent statement later on.
The Philippine National Police is working on revoking the gun license of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy, who remains in hiding amid alleged sexual abuse and human trafficking charges.
And Iloilo City continues to grapple with a critical water shortage, prompting the local government to declare a state of calamity.
Welcome to the big story. I'm Gretchen Paul.
I'm Riza Diaz.
And I'm Sean Yao.
Kicking off tonight's newscast with 16 Chinese maritime militia vessels that were spotted around Recto Bank during a resupply and patrol mission conducted by the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, last April 20 to 22.
Recto Bank is well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone.
That's right, Riza. The problem is their presence in the area has made it that much harder for Filipino fishermen to make a living. Gio Robles with that big story.
The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources sailed to Recto Bank last April 20. Their mission, to patrol and resupply Filipino fishermen moored in the area. As soon as the BFAR ship reached Recto Bank, which falls within the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines, several Chinese maritime militia vessels were spotted. Despite their presence, the BFAR was able to provide free fuel to Filipino fishermen. On the second day of the mission, a China Coast Guard ship also arrived, going as near as 1.5 nautical miles from BFAR ship BRP Dato Pagbuaya. Although they didn't approach or conduct dangerous maneuvers, they did deploy rubber boats with personnel aboard to observe and track the Filipinos within our own EEZ. Images also showed a rubber boat approaching a militia vessel with personnel from the China Coast Guard. These images demonstrate coordination and cooperation between militia vessels and the CCG.
May mga ganung bagay po ma'am sa CMM and Coast Guard, Chinese Coast Guard ay may connection naman din po sila sa isa't isa po ma'am.
The distribution of 25,000 liters of diesel to 24 Filipino fishing boats took 2 days. Among those who received it was JR.
Oh, malaking tulong na yan sa amin, sir. Kasi mahal yung sir, yung bibilihin ngayon.
Oo.
Malaking tulong na rin yan sa amin.
Sige.
Para makabuhay sa mga pamilya namin.
Even though JR's livelihood is fishing, he says he wouldn't want his children to pursue the same path.
Kung ikaw papipiliin, sir, anong gusto mo sa mga anak mo, sir?
Paaralin na mabuti, sir, para hindi makatulad namin, sir. Kasi parang mahirap pa rin dito sa dagat, sir.
Opo, delikado.
Delikado ang dagat, sir.
Meanwhile, Filipino fishermen at Rosal Reef are facing a different problem, that of missing fish aggregating device, also known as payaos. They reportedly set up 10 payaos on April 4. These payaos serve to attract bigger fish to catch. However, after revisiting the area 2 weeks later, only 6 payaos remain. The Filipino fishermen suspect that Chinese ships were the ones who caught the buoys.
Hindi naman basta-basta mapuputol yung payo, sir, kung hindi nasabitan ng kanilang long line. Pero actually, lahat na payo ho may mga isda na. Mga yellowfin po, yellowfin, tulingan, meron na rin pa galunggong.
For their part, the BFAR is still investigating whether the payaos were intentionally caught.
Those reports are still subject for verification, sir. But other than that, sir, yung mga factors na gano'n, sir, pwede naman po natin masabi na tinangay lang po siya ng mga agos, sir. Not necessarily na may pumutol o may nagtanggal po, sir.
For News 5, Gio Robles, we are One News.
In recent days, there has been growing concern over the supposed influx of Chinese students in certain areas, particularly provinces where EDSA sites are located. One of these provinces is Cagayan, and a representative of its 3rd district has in fact called for a house probe into what he described as an alarming increase of Chinese students in the province, which he says can threaten national security. Though the Cagayan LGU believes this alleged influx poses no such threat, the armed forces, the National Security Council, and lawmakers from both chambers of Congress have said that they will look into it. But over the weekend, Civic Leader Teresita Angsi flagged these developments. She said, and I quote, "The past days' preoccupation with deliberate fanning of xenophobia and racism by politicians and media spreading baseless whodunits of students as spies is dangerous and unfortunate. Ang Si adds that, quote, the baseless and deliberate fanning of negative news on the influx of Chinese students serves only to exacerbate the ongoing geopolitical tensions arising from our maritime conflict with China. Now, how should this issue be dealt with without seemingly promoting anti-Chinese sentiment? To give us his take on the matter, we have with us tonight Dr. Cecilio Pedro, President of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Gretchen, good to see you again, including Sean Guiao and EDSA.
Mr. Cecilio,
Yes.
your organization released a statement on this expressing concern over the influx of students being and also xenophobia. Can you talk to us more? Did you investigate yourself into this issue, and what did you see?
Yeah, first of all, allow me to say thank you for inviting us to be part of your program. The key here is mutual understanding and relationships between countries. The Chinese students are here to study English basically and to learn our culture, our Filipino culture in Cagayan and maybe in other parts of the country. Considering that the numbers of foreign students, specifically in Chinese students, according to BI or Bureau of the Immigration, there are only 1,516 Chinese students. Napakaliit po compared to Malaysia, which has 39,000, and Thailand, which has 21,500. So napakaliit. I don't know why are we so concerned about this. And basically, they are students. Alam niyo po, kami po sa Federation, we also send students, we sponsor students from the Philippines, Filipino students, to study in China to learn Mandarin so they can come back and help our students here learn Mandarin. Alam niyo po ngayon, if you speak Mandarin and English, you can easily find better jobs in the Philippines. You don't have to go out of the country. Whether you are working in hospitals, in tourism-related industries, kailangan po ngayon marunong kayo mag-Mandarin. Even including the BI or Bureau of Immigration, we are providing assistance for them to learn Mandarin, considering that a lot of Chinese tourists are coming over and many of them cannot speak English. And Mandarin is the only language they speak. So napakalaking tulong po ito na they will send students to study here and understand the culture in the Philippines. So we should welcome them with open arms instead of, in fanning this xenophobia. Lahat ng galing China ay isang masama. Huwag naman ganon, di ba? Ako po'y Filipino. I have Chinese blood. But ako po'y tunay na Filipino. And I believe that learning Chinese will help us not just in understanding but in promoting trade between these two countries, the Philippines and China. That is the sentiment we bring to the community today.
Right. Mr. Pedro, pare-pareho lang naman tayo, I, myself, and Gretchen. We're also Filipino-Chinese. As umiinit yung tension, as we know itong issue, it's basically an offshoot of the bigger tensions happening in the West Philippine Sea. Yung gulo with China, it's, kumbaga, some people would say that it's a spillover, and this is probably the xenophobia that you are talking about. Similar to this, yung NGCP issue, yung issue ng mga ibang authorities natin na baka ginagamit daw ito na isang vehicle to spy on the Philippines. Same thing with this Chinese student issue. But the broader issue here is, again, how does the chamber feel about how the media perhaps should portray this relationship? Kung baga, wala naman tayo sa gobyerno, di ba? The students are not in government. It has not been proven that they are spies at this point. How would you like this relationship to be nurtured or to be developed and to separate it from the politics?
The fact that the issue is being sensationalized is not good, especially if we are attracting tourists from China. napakarami pong tourists ngayon pumupunta sa Thailand, pumupunta sa Malaysia, pumupunta sa Singapore, and Philippines is now considered as a last priority. Bakit po? Dahil po sa West Philippine Sea tension that we have currently experiencing it. So sana po, wag na nagdagdagan yung itong problema natin sa West Philippine Sea. Sana, kung pwede itabi natin itong West Philippine Sea, tabi na natin. Pag-usapan na lang yung West Philippine Sea so that we can move forward, whether it's tourism, whether it's trade, or other aspects of this relationship, maybe cultural exchange, maybe exchange of AI, artificial intelligence. Alam niyo po, wala naman tayong sikreto na hindi malalaman ng China. We have nothing to hide from China. It's the other way around. The secrets are coming from China, which we have to learn, especially technology, to improve our agriculture, to improve our power generation, to improve everything. Napakalayo na po tayo sa China, napakalayo tayo not just from China, even from our neighbors like Singapore and Malaysia, which is moving way ahead, faster than we can. And they are encouraging investment from China, interaction with China, learning from China so they can move forward. Sana po tayo rin, we need this. Alang-alang sa bayan natin. Kailangan umunlad ang bayan natin bago yung sariling agenda.
Mr. Cecilio,
Hanapin natin anong bagay sa China, sa bayan.
Mr. Cecilio, zooming in to the issue of the accusations that these may be Chinese spies, let's ask some questions. First, bakit po sa Tugigaraw? At pangalawa, ang sources say that the number of students increased post-pandemic. Why the increase, the sudden increase? I think what they're pointing out to is the sudden surge of the students, where I guess it's not the presence that is being questioned, but rather the patterns, the timing, and the area where these students are present. Did you look into that?
Alam niyo po, we have, the Cagayan is one accredited university among so many universities up north by CHED. Tanong po natin kung bakit accredited, because they have good program for English, for other subjects in Cagayan. At saka napakamura ang tuition nila compared to Metro Manila and other parts of the better developed provinces in the country. Alam niyo, presyo is also very important part for the Chinese. They come over because our English proficiency is one of the best in this region, if not the best. You can easily learn English and communicate in the neighborhood, in the community with fellow Filipinos in English. Unlike in Thailand or Malaysia or even in Singapore, iba yung proficiency nila in English. They are probably more proficient with their own language. So that is one advantage, one very important advantage, which we should promote instead of hindering foreign students to come in. And they will also bring in their family members. Magbibisita yung tatay nila, nanay nila, yung mga kamag-anak nila to improve our tourism. Malaking bagay po yung tourism. Kailangan po natin magkaroon ng more tourists to come here to the Philippines, including Cagayan. I would rather than they come here in Metro Manila. Alam naman sa Metro Manila, napakamahal na ngayon. So they will probably go to Northern Luzon or Southern Luzon or even to Mindanao and Visayas.
Dr. Cecilio.
And it so happened that Cagayan University is accredited.
Right. Dr. Cecilio, let's talk about this in the broader context of the Filipino-Chinese community here. Since you're the head of the Fil-Chi Federation, or at least one of the federations, ano po ba yung nararanasan ngayon ng mga Filipino-Chinese businessmen? Has there been any sort of impact or blowback gawa ng mga tensions sa South China Sea?
The main drawback, if ever, if there be, is from the foreign investment galing sa China. Alam niyo kung nag-aaway ang mga magkaibigan o let's say tatay at nanay, siyempre pag may alitan, may problema, mahihirapan sila magbigay, mag-invest. Kasi hindi lang dalawa nag-aaway, sinasama pa natin yung mga other parties. We involved the Japanese, the Koreans, and the Americans, and so many other parties to us come here and assist us in this very important or in this West Philippine Sea problem. Alam mo yung tatay-nanay, kung nag-aaway, isasama nila yung mga kapatid nila. Siyempre, kanyang-kanyang opinion, instead of dalawa, magiging apat, magiging anim, lalong lalaki yung problema instead of yung dalawa lang. Let's sit down, let's talk, let's discuss. If we cannot agree, let's agree to disagree. Let's set aside, maintain status quo. Those we can agree on, those we can compromise on, let's move forward and towards those directions that we can compromise on so that this hopefully will help our country move forward. We have so many things to do in the country other than the West Philippine Sea. Our agriculture needs so much attention and so much help, specifically from China, whether it's a hybrid rice, whether it's the mechanization, whether it's the AI, artificial intelligence. Napaka-advanced po on China and we need them to help us. Ito po para sa akin is more important than a few students studying in Cagayan. Yan ang ayaw namin na mangyari. Dahil po magiging focus of attention on whether it's the local politician, whether it's let's not make this issue sensationalize this issue at the expense of our country. Wala naman sikreto dyan sa Cagayan. Ano makukuha mong sikreto na kailangan ng international or kailangan bigyan ng special attention? If there is any secrecy or any major espionage, it should happen here in Metro Manila, not in Cagayan. Yan lang ang masasabi ko.
Dr. Pedro, I just wanted to ask also about the courses that these Chinese students take in the Philippines. Is it just English? Are you aware of other courses that they might be interested in and other areas where this is also happening? Kung mura yung tuition, doon din po sila nag-enroll. Mayroon pa po ba kayong nalalaman?
Alam niyo po, yung CHET, there is a standard requirement. If you want to graduate from a certain school on a certain course, you have to take up so many subjects and so many years. Standard yan. You cannot deviate from the curriculum given and approved by CHET. So once you enroll, you have to take up all the subjects. But the key here is they want to learn English. The focus, whether it's in physics, whether it's in science, whether it's in language, you have to learn English. Yan ang kino-focus nila, how to speak English, how to write English, so that when they go back to China, kailangan po nila yung marunong mag-English because they are dealing with the world, with the international world, which is composed mostly in English. So yun ang hinahanap nila ngayon, especially the students, the younger generation, for them to gain extra advantage when they go back to China or when they even want, assuming their parents are already located here in the Philippines and they want to do business here in the Philippines. So added to that, we are also requesting them to learn Tagalog para maintindihan nila ang kultura dito sa Pilipinas. I myself, I'm promoting Tagalog. Kailangan marunong mag-Tagalog if you want to stay in Manila or stay in the Philippines to deal with Filipinos. You better learn how to speak Tagalog. Just like us who were born here and grew up here, we speak Tagalog fluently and we can speak English, and plus we speak a little Mandarin and our local dialect. In that way, that make us so advantageous to other nationalities in dealing with China and in dealing with the other parts of the world.
Dr. Pedro, apart from Cagayan, do you know of any other hotspots that attract Chinese students?
Saan pang sikat para sa mga visiting students or exchange students or yung mga interested mag-aral dito? Where do they flock to apart from Cagayan?
Alam niyo po, I'm part of the, we call this Hope Christian High School, where we operate I think 16 schools nationwide. And we have schools in Mindanao, Sarangani. We have also schools in Palawan, Palawan Hope Christian High School. We have Naga Hope Christian High School. We have Metro Manila, 5 Hope Christian High School. We also have link up with other parts of Luzon. This is an opportunity for us to invite them to come in and to learn and bring Chinese also, Chinese Mandarin, to the local Chinese and even the local Filipinos so that they can be equipped for the international trade that is now open and available to all of us. We're talking about worldwide na tayo hindi lang Pilipinas We have to learn as many languages as possible so we can communicate with all kinds of people we have to deal with in business. So any additional language is always a plus factor. If you learn Mandarin, if you learn French or German or Japanese, that is an added feature. That is something we have to promote, we have to encourage so that our children, the next generation, will be competitive and world-class. The key here is we want to be world-class. And the world-class involved we're learning so many other languages and in the process make us better than our competitors.
All right, thank you so much for weighing in on that with us. 谢谢，谢谢你。Dr. Cecilio Pedro, President of the Federation of Filipino Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Well, up next, Iloilo adds to the list of provinces facing water crisis due to the effects of El Nino and the intense heat. More on that when the big story returns. Keep it here.
You're watching the big story here on One News. Former Senator Bren has died at the age of 84. His son, UAAP Executive Director Attorney Rebo Sagisag, announced in a statement he posted on his Facebook page earlier today. The statement read, "We are grateful that in his final months, he was able to spend time with relatives, friends, and countless supporters. He passed away knowing he was much loved and respected. The family also requested to be granted a few moments of privacy as they grieve. They will soon announce details of the service honoring his life, and they look forward to the opportunity to gather and pay tribute to a life lived with integrity and purpose. Now, apart from being a lawmaker, Sagisag likewise worked as a checker, laborer, construction site guard, and messenger from 1959 to 1962. Sagisag served as a senator from 1987 until 1992. He chaired the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privilege and the Ad Hoc Committee on the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant.
Meanwhile, senators paid tribute to Sagisag and expressed their condolences to his family. In a statement, Senate President Mig Zubiri said, Sagisag may have just served one term in the Senate, but his entire life was devoted to pursuing justice and fairness for every Filipino, particularly through such initiatives as the Free Legal Assistance Group. Senate President pro tempore Loren Legarda meanwhile said that in his lone Senate term, Sagisag made sure that there would be accountability of public officials and civil servants and was one of those who vehemently opposed the stay of the U.S. military bases in the country.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla likewise considered Sagisag a close friend and mentor, appreciating his wisdom and guidance. He said, Karene is not only smart, he was very smart. If he wrote an opinion, you need to read it carefully and repeat it to make sure you understand his writing correctly. Thank you very much, Karene, for the wisdom that you shared with us.
Let's move on over to other news. The PNP Firearms Office has called for the revocation of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy's gun license. We have Gerard de la Peña joining us tonight to give us more details on that. What do you have, Gerard?
That's right, Sean. Right now, the PNP is only awaiting the signature of his Chief General Romel Marbil to officially revoke Pastor Apollo Quiboloy's license to own and possess firearms. That's after the PNP Firearms and Explosives Office recommended the revocation of Quiboloy's license as he continues to face numerous charges.
Alam po natin yung isinampa pong kaso laban po sa mga akusado carries ay lifetime imprisonment o capital offense. So dito po siya magfo-fall. Henceforth, ang Firearms and Explosive Office po ay nagrekomenda para i-revoke at i-cancel po yung license to own and possess firearms and registration of firearms para po kay Pastor Quiboloy at isa po pong akusado. At yan po ay iniintay na lamang po nating mapirmahan ng ating Chief PNP po.
In a text message, PNP Chief Marbil says he has received the FEO's resolution. He says his office is now studying the legal provisions that will serve as basis for the move before officially signing the resolution.
I don't want to preempt po yung magiging decision po ng PNP, but ang Chief PNP po natin ay pag-aaralan po ito. May mga legal officers po ng Chief PNP at malinaw naman po na may basehan po itong recommendation po ng FEO. But intayin po natin yung formal na pagpirma po ng ating Chief PNP. And hopefully within the week po ay lalabas po yung approved decision po ng ating Chief PNP.
Based on the records of the PNP FEO, at least 19 guns are registered under Pastor Apollo Quiboloy's name. There are currently warrants for his arrest over alleged sexual abuse and human trafficking. Once Quiboloy's gun license is revoked, all his guns will be considered loose firearms and must be surrendered to authorities in 6 months. The LTOPF is the office that provides individuals the privilege to hold, buy, and own guns, but only after a strict application process. Once the resolution relating to Quiboloy's case is passed, this could also serve as precedent to go after gun owners with pending cases.
Once nilabas itong kanilang recommendation, this will apply not only in the case of Pastor Quiboloy and one other, magiging precedent na po ito doon sa mga individual judicial entity na may kaparehong kaso po.
The basis for the cancellation of a gun license is provided under Republic Act 10591 or the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Law. Though Quiboloy owns firearms, the PNP does not consider him armed and dangerous because he has no record yet of gun violence or owning a private armed group. Sean, authorities are trying to locate and arrest Pastor Apollo Quiboloy even in areas outside of Davao, and there is still no indication that the religious leader has fled the country. Sean.
Thanks so much for that, Gerard de la Peña.
Moving on now to transportation, the MMDA said it's studying the possibility of removing the bike lane in EDSA to make way for the proposed exclusive motorcycle lane. Let's get more details on that and reactions from Francis Orsho. Francis, what did the motorists say?
That's right, Gretch. It looks like the conversation on dedicated motorcycle lanes are taking another turn with the proposal to remove the bike lane in EDSA. The MMDA cited data showing the EDSA bike lane being underutilized. Data showed that only 1,500 bikers use the EDSA bike lane per day, compared to the 170,000 motorcycle riders that pass the major thoroughfare daily. Part of the proposal is to convert half of the bike lane into a motorcycle lane. As expected, this did not sit well with some groups like Alt Mobility. They said the EDSA should be redesigned to maximize capacity by prioritizing modes of transportation that accommodate more people and optimize road space. The MMDA has stressed that the proposal is still under study alongside the plan to put up a motorcycle lane in EDSA. But as early as now, riders and even lawmakers are split on the matter.
Maganda ma'am para iwas aksidente po. Mas maganda po yun ma'am para disiplinado po. Para hindi na kung saan napunta. Pabar po ma'am.
Okay lang din naman. Mas okay pwede rin kasi mas mabibigyan ng kumbaga mahihiwalay talaga kami dyan sa gitna na masingit-singitan yung magkaroon ng singit-singit dito sa karamihan ng sasakyan. Pero hindi rin kasi maiwasan talaga yung lalo pagka sobrang traffic.
Kung sa akin po hindi.
Kasi for yourself?
Technically kasi hindi naman po ganun kalaki yung kinukuha na space ng motor. May mga tendency na kailangan namin kumaliwa, na manggagaling pa kami sa kanan.
Over in the lower house, one proponent had this to say.
Hindi maitatanggi, pinaka-normal na dyan along EDSA yung sobrang traffic. Given, andyan na yung number of vehicles, yung volume. At kumbaga po, ang intention na lang natin, maisaayos para yung buhol-buhol na trapiko at itong aksidente ay kung hindi man mapigilan, ay mapigilan yung mataas na bilang.
But in the Senate, at least 2 senators are calling for a more comprehensive study and long-term solutions to problems in public transportation. Gretch, I believe you've had Jobert Bolanos of the Motorcycle Rights Organization on the show recently, and he said the same thing, which is that our roads are not designed for exclusive lanes and that it's best if the government focuses on implementing existing rules and regulations. Gretch?
Thank you for that update, Francis Orsho. Siyempre, di matutuwa yung mga siklista doon dahil matagal nilang ipinaglaban yung bike lanes na yon. Lalo na nung pandemic, there were big strides made for road sharing in EDSA. Sinasabi nga nila, di ba?
Masasabi ko dyan maraming big strides were made during the pandemic kasi walang traffic.
Yun.
So meaning, we really have to solve that traffic problem.
Medyo nag-iiba na yung sitwasyon. Pero yun din ang problema. Pag naglagay ng bike lanes, usually tinatanggal. Tapos later on, binabalik ulit, tapos tinatanggal.
So walang consistency din, di ba? For the bikers.
Wala naman talagang strictly na nagpo-follow. Nakakatakot. Unless you barricade the entire thing, which is impossible kasi maraming kakanan pa rin or kakaliwa from EDSA, di ba? Ay kakanan lang pala lagi from EDSA.
Well, it's very well intended. It's just, yung implementation lang din talaga. So, let's see. Well, kamustahin naman natin ngayon ang lagay ng panahon bukas, 'di ba? Kasi ngayon napakainit, pero bukas, ang sabi ng Pag-asa, a total of 38 areas in the Philippines may experience a heat index within the danger level. Again, that's tomorrow, April 25. The highest being in Pili, Camarines Sur at 46 degrees Celsius. 45 degrees naman daw sa may Pasay City at Dagupan City. 44 degrees Celsius naman daw sa Tuguegarao City, Apari in Cagayan, San Jose in Occidental Mindoro, Puerto Princesa, and Aborlan in Palawan. It could reach 43 degrees over in the Science Garden, Quezon City, Sangley Point, Cavite, Coron, Palawan, Daet in Camarines Sur, pati na rin sa Rojas City in Capiz, Iloilo City, Dumangas in Iloilo, and Guiao in Eastern Samar.
Also in the danger zone at 42 degrees Celsius are Isabela State University, Iba Zambales, Clark in Pampanga, Kasiguran in Aurora, Subic Bay in Olongapo City, Tanawan in Batangas, Alabat in Quezon, and Coron, Palawan. This is also the case over in Legazpi City in Albay, Virac in Catanduanes, Masbate City, Catarman in Northern Samar, Catbalogan in Samar, and Tacloban City in Leyte.
Ako, sa Iloilo City naman, water supply and water sources in the area are drying up. Gawa yan ng epekto ng El Nino as well as the intense heat. According to the LGU there, almost 20% of their population across 25 barangays are now being affected by the water shortage. Most of them rely on water wells, but even those are drying out. On Monday, Iloilo was placed under a state of calamity. Currently, the LGU is preparing to address the water shortage using the 12.5 million pesos Calamity Fund.
Upon our investigation, most of the shallow wells have dried up. Iloilo has not experienced rainfall for the past 3 months. No? So we are officially in a drought.
Usapan namin actually kung kailan naging ganito kainit. Parang araw-araw na lang nasa 40 plus degrees Celsius yung feel.
Kanina nakita ko yung post ng Philippine Star, 47.3 degrees heat index sa Makati.
Yes, that's
Parang
true.
feeling namin
Dangerous.
ito yung pinakamainit na tuloy-tuloy na na-experience
Like
natin.
every day.
And hopefully it's
And
just
very
because
dry.
of the El Nino season. Not
It's
because
very
of
dry.
Yes,
Very
very
Yun
dry.
yung difference, no? Okay, pahinga muna tayo, no? Kasi
We need some ice.
Yes,
we need some
ice.
na mabilis yung matuna. Okay. We will be speaking with singer-songwriter Ice Seguerra about his upcoming Videoke Hits concert and that viral birthday surprise for bossing Vic Soto. Keep it here on One News.
Baba na lang. Hindi ko nga. Parang matrona yung dating ng character ko. Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News. Like we were saying before the commercial break, if you were tuned in, we could all use some ice. As well as some classic OPM hits right now, yung Suabe Lang. And fortunately, very, very fortunately, joining us tonight live in the studio is singer, songwriter, actor, director, record producer, multi-hyphenate basically. Wow!
Multi-hyphenate artist, Ice Seguerra. Ice, welcome to The Big Story.
Thank you so much for having me.
Kailangan namin ng malamig mong boses.
Oo, parang kanina, nag-iinit ako rin sa pinag-uusapan niyo. Masyadong mainit.
Mainit ang topic.
Ay. Buti na lang ikaw yung pangontra.
Buti na lang. Kaya wag na natin pag-usapan yung viral surprise eh. Baka maging hot na naman yung ano.
Pero wait lang,
hot ko
kasi
kasi
naging viral talaga siya nung birthday ni Bossing.
viral.
I know.
Nagulat ka?
Well, medyo hindi. Kasi I'm sure, hindi ko expect na magiging gano'n na parang mag 1 week na pinag-uusapan pa rin natin.
Well, for those who don't know what we're talking about, that is the birthday surprise of Ice for Bossing Vic Soto on his birthday last April 20 on Eat Bulaga.
Yes.
Oo. Kung saan ikaw ay
nagbihis matrona. Hindi ko alam kung...
Hindi, iba yung peg sa kinalabasan.
Ang peg yata Ariana Grande, pero parang nanay ni Ariana Grande yung kinalabasan kasi. Hindi ko alam kung ano.
Parang nanay ni Yaya Dab, yung mga gano'n. Oo.
Di ba si Posh Spice yan?
To be fair, ang cute.
Pero tsaka nagustuhan ni Bossing. Talagang happy siya.
Actually, walang nakakilala sa akin. Kasi nobody knew. The hosts knew na ako, except for si Tito Vic. Pero hindi nila alam yung magiging itsura, magiging labas ng makeup. So, I'm sure lahat sila
Kaninong
na-surprise.
ideya yan?
At kaninong costume yan?
Yung costume sa Itbulaga yan.
Okay.
When they asked me, sabi ko, wala akong kahit anong babaeng damit ha. Sabi ko, meron akong hiram ako sa nanay ko, pero pang matanda na yun. Pang ballroom yung lalabas nun eh. Sabi na, okay lang, meron kami lahat ng kailangan.
Ayun,
Diba?
Si Jenny yan, ano?
I'm sure.
Jenny Pere.
I'm sure siya lang makakaisip niyan.
Napaka-cute Pero, I mean, I used to watch Eat Bulaga. Bigla ko lang naalala watching this viral video, Little Miss Philippines.
Yes.
Every day sinusubaybayan ko.
Feeling ko kaya natuwa sila eh. Kasi siguro it brought back memories.
Oo naman. Sobrang nostalgic talaga. I mean, yung costume lang talaga. Pero it was so funny, bagay na bagay. Pero what else have you been busy with lately?
Well, we're busy with, because my wife and I, Liza, so we opened our own company. It's called Fire and Ice. And medyo baby pa siya. Magto 2 years pa lang kami. So, yun, it's really taking so much of our time. But masaya naman kasi it's basically, we're doing what we love. We do concerts, we do films, and everything in between.
So film production, live production.
Yes.
What's on the slate? I remember you talked to me about wanting to produce something in the field of sports. Napag-usapan natin yan.
Yes.
Diba?
Oo.
Pero
Parang
ano na yung mga nakalinya?
So itong actually, kaya ako nandito because ito yung next one on the slate. It's called Videoke Hits. So we're producing it as well. And it's set to happen on May 10 and 11 at the Music Museum. So excited kami dito because kumbaga kung yung iba, ang pastime nila mag-swimming or mag-hiking. Ako ang pastime ko mag-videoke.
Karaoke.
Yes.
Wow.
Yan ang pastime ko talaga mag-video.
Hanggang ngayon? Kahit nabatikang singer ka na, songwriter?
Actually, yes.
Or you've been doing this all your life, di ba? Singing,
performing, basically.
Pero siguro ganun ako ka-addict sa pagkanta na swerte lang ako na it became my job. It became my profession. Pero talagang kahit tanggalan mo, kahit hindi ko siya trabaho, gagawin ko siya eh. Kasi it really relaxes me.
Subukan mo kaya mag-surprise ng random, yung mga bahay-bahay, barangay-barangay. Hindi, surprise mo kasi maraming mahilig mag-karaoke dito sa Pilipinas.
Totoo, para magka-crush ako ng mga
ganda nun.
Crush ka naman nag-videoke sa barangay.
Pwede.
At natataas ng talent level, ha?
Oo.
Pang contest, competitive ang mga videoke dito.
Pagdating talaga sa kantahan, sobra.
Okay, so this upcoming concert na Videoke Hits, literal ba pwede bang maki-sing-along yung mga pupunta?
Yes, there are parts within the show na talagang meron kaming videoke relay. I don't know if you're familiar with it, yung nakapila sila, tapos...
Tapos line by line, di ba?
Line by line, yes. So gagawin namin yon, tapos may mga parts, jam sila with me, kasi may mga part na the mic is just, nandun sila sa audience, so pasa-pasa ng mic yan. Tapos, meron din kami, even the song list, even the repertoire, we asked the audience to help us with some parts.
To share.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is an interactive concert.
Yes,
So
basically.
basically, we're gonna hear yung mga top favorite songs ng mga Pinoy. Alam naman natin, kakaunti lang yung favorite song ng mga Pinoy. And every one of us, we memorize the lyrics. minsan tama, minsan mali. Pero pwede mo ba kaming sampulan ng slide? Kung ano
Sige,
ba yung
ano ba?
maririnig on May 10 and May 11?
Sige. So ito, nasa by request list to.
Okay.
Actually, medyo nahirapan kami talaga dahil ang daming kanta. But
Actually, na-excite ako. Mahilig kasi ako
Teka, ilang oras
Natin
yung concert mo?
gusto ko yung tanong mo sa akin, Gretch.
Hindi, kasi marami yung list.
Well, meron kaming limit na 2.5.
Limit na yan.
Limit na yan.
Kala ko 5 oras.
Unfortunately, may limit. So, nalulungkot ako. Oh,
Pwede tayo palang next Videoke Marathon. Gawin
Diba?
natin yan.
My God, exciting
Pang-Guinness,
game ako dyan.
kaya ng Pilipino i-beat yan.
Oo.
Alright, ito na ang pampalamig sa ating mga gabi, pati na rin sa araw. Ice Seguerra.
Nakikinig sa'yo, naririto ako, nakikinig sa'yo.
Oh my! So, all PM lahat.
Alam mo,
halo-halo.
Okay,
Halo-halo.
okay na si Gretchen bago ka kumanta. Ngayon, tignan mo.
Hindi, iniisip ko, baka ipasa niya yung mic sa akin. Video ko.
Naiiyak na siya.
Mangyayari ba yun?
Naiiyak.
Mangyayari ba yun sa concert na magpapasahan ng mic?
Yes.
Yun ang mangyayari.
Yes,
may
So, kung ayaw mo mapasahan ng mic,
Oo nga, gusto ko lang makinig.
kailangan handa ka kumanta in short.
Hindi, kung gusto mo lang
Game
makinig.
na lang game.
Right.
Ayan.
Walang
Okay.
pilitan.
Oh, walang pilitan.
Baka sold out na to, itong mga tickets.
Meron pa naman.
Meron pa
So,
naman.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Saan ba pwede bumili?
you can buy tickets at Ticket World. So you can go to their website at Premier Ticket, Basta Ticket World.
Ticket
Hanapin
World.
nyo lang.
Yeah.
Kaya nyo
Basta
na yan,
search,
guys.
no?
May,
Videoke
ano,
Hits.
may,
Sige.
may panulak ba na
Or,
pandagdag
teka
ng
lang, meron pa.
confidence?
Or you can call us at 0917-542-0303 for tickets. Ayun, Simon, sorry, you were
May
saying.
panulak ba na
Oo.
pampadagdag ng confidence?
Pwede ba
I
doon?
think, if I'm not mistaken, meron yata
Sa Music Museum, ganito yan sa Music Museum. Merong maliit na mesa sa harap mo.
Ayun.
Pwede ka
Ayun.
mag-order
Ayun,
at
ayun.
darating lang siya.
Amen.
Wala ko, sobrang enjoy. Isang gabi lang ito.
2 nights. So May 10
nights.
and 11 at the Music
10 and
Museum.
11.
I would
Ay,
love
balita
to
namin
do
din.
karaoke with
Ito nga may mga, hindi lang siya straight up na parang karaoke na bara-bara lang May
Oh,
mga
yeah.
segment ka.
Yes, we do have segments.
Can
So
you
the
talk us
first segment
quickly?
is called Welcome to My World. So welcome to my Videoke world. So basically, sa part na yon, that's when I'll be showcasing the songs I really love.
Your playlist.
It's my go-to Videoke playlist, like 6799,
Like
mga
one.
ganyan.
Anong kantang nandyan na hindi mo wawala?
The Search is Over ng Survivor.
The search is over.
Yan. So, halo-halo yan. Tapos, meron tayo dyan, it's called By Request. So, sa By Request, may mga jammers tayo. Kung may mga kaibigan akong singers na umattend, I might ask them to
Can
sing.
you give us names?
I don't know yet who's gonna attend.
Okay, wala pa.
So, kung the audience member, celebrity friend, tapos we also have the Videoke relay, and then, meron tayong Icified. I think that's the fun part. So, Icified, we ask the audience to, give me some, let's say, hits ng Videoke, like Build Me Up Buttercup.
Or Alone, ganyan, or AGs.
Tas yun, AGs, tawag di, Halik ng AGs, ganyan. And then, I will sing it my own way.
Pwede ba namin mapakinggan yun? Sample ng AGs.
Sige, oh my, I love Lumuhain Halik.
Ayoko sana na ikaw ay mawawala, mawawasak lamang ang aking mundo. Ngunit anong magagawa kung talaga ayaw mo na? Sino ba naman ako para pigilan ka? Ang halik mo namimiss ko. Ang halik mo namimiss ko. Bakit iniwan mo ako?
Exciting!
Ilan pa lang yan na talagang tayo.
Oo, punta tayo.
Napakanta na tayo.
Correct. Patikim pa lang yun.
Patikim pa lang yun.
So, May
Once
10 and
again,
11, mark your calendars.
And 11, 2.5 hours of that. And yes, pwede kayo mag-order ng pagkain. Maraming salamat sa oras mo.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes.
Oh, very,
At pag
very
nakita mo
happy
kami
for
doon,
you as a producer that you get to express yourself in a different way.
Thank you.
Ice, if I may just invite you, kasi hindi pa natin napag-uusapan yung directorial debut mo and all these other things with Fire and Ice. Balik ka na lang next time.
Oo nga, nabiting
Sure.
kami.
Okay, and ito, babasahin ko na yung promo. Catch more of Ice on his Videoke Hits concert happening May 10 and 11 sa Music Museum. Search nyo na lang sa Google, bumili na ng ticket, meron pa daw.
Yes, ticket were
Baka ikaw naman ang ma-surprise ng mga taga-Itbulaga.
Sana.
Sana
would be
masaya
great.
yun.
Nanonood yan sila ng Big Story.
All the best.
Thank you so
Diba?
much.
Kasi
Pag nakita ko kayo, expect
Ay,
nyo
naku,
na.
mag-expect kami ni Sean.
Kumakanta na nga kami dito, wala lang kaming mic.
Ano naman kami, depende yan kung magugustuhan nyo. Pero kakanta kami.
Wait, yun nga ang essence ng karaoke, whether nasa tono ka or not. Let's just have fun,
game.
diba? Enjoy.
I used to think, pag magaling ka sa karaoke, hindi masaya. Pero actually, masaya pala. Na may magaling sa karaoke. Kahit isa lang sa grupo. Okay, wala na tayo.
Hindi magaling. Para ano?
Mas masaya nga yung hindi magaling.
Relatability.
Pero mas masaya kung mixed. Okay, that's it for the big story tonight. Kumakaway na si Marie, wala na tayong oras.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in and have a good night.